We have to have content for before.
I know that we have nothing
Say
funny.
something funny.
That's what the shark says.
There you have it.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the NOIC Godcast. Guys, camp is less than 2 weeks away. You should be a little more frightened than you are.
Did you even address the elephant in the room?
Oh, guys, you might have noticed.
It's kind of
this.
rude, actually.
I'm so sorry. All of our guests are elephants.
This
That's
is
odd.
true. It's so offensive.
I think the last time you said elephant, it was Jamie.
Oh, that was Adam.
Oh.
No, I don't know that Adam
don't
was an
know.
elephant. He was just awkward. Anyway, Jamie's not here. But we have CJ who decided to sit in and be quiet with us today.
You're welcome.
So,
It's kind of funny that we're talking about shadow kingdoms because CJ's like the shadow of this podcast. It's rather fitting. Is that better than elephant? Call you a shadow?
Depends on what context you mean shadow.
I mean, when there's something that's not really there, but it's there. That's you.
That's fine.
Okay. He's a shadow elephant. That's what he is.
I cast a large shadow.
There you have it.
well, as equally as excited about seeing all of you this year, I'm really excited about the theme for this year's camp. I just feel like,
gonna
I
be a
think
good
we
one.
say it every year, but like it feels so
I do
different
not
than
say
the
that
other
every
ones.
year. This one does seem rather unique.
It does. So if you haven't had the chance already to listen to our other episodes from this month, I really encourage you to go do so. They all kind of go together as a little sneak peek and insight to what we're going to be talking about for the week at camp. And I just think it's been a really great series so far.
Yeah.
May end here, but so far it's been
So far, it's not been a hot mess. I mean, it has.
You take it back. So today we're going to be looking at the role we play in each kingdom. We've established each kingdom, the light and the dark, and we've talked about the shadows. But what does all of this mean for us? If you ask around, a good majority of people would never say they're a part of the dark kingdom. But they also aren't living up to the full potential of the light kingdom.
Right.
Can we really be in both? Luke 11:35 says, "Take heed, therefore, that the light which is in thee be not darkness." This doesn't say that there can be a little bit of darkness. You can have a little bit in there. Or it doesn't say just as long as you're mostly light. It says, be not darkness. Like it all.
Well, what I take from that is like, so take heed, therefore, that the light which is in thee be not dark. Like you thought it was light, and then, oh, oopsie, that's darkness.
Right.
Like that should be alarming. Like in Matthew 7, when Jesus says, the people come to him, they're like, I cast out demons in your name. I did all these great works in your name. And Jesus is like, who are you? That's the same thing. Like they thought the light was there, but that light was actually darkness.
Right.
Like that should wake us up and scare us.
Right. So we talked about how the darkness can be deceiving. We think that there are things there that aren't really there. Josh mentioned I feel like it was one of the first episodes about how Satan is the angel of light. He has a way of deceiving people and believing that they can live in both kingdoms. The thing is, light is absolute and definitive. The thing is, dark is absolute and definitive. So, can we really be in both? We've formed this area of Christianity where we personally define our relationship with God. Does this mean every Christian's walk with God looks the exact same? No.
Right.
My walk doesn't look the same as your walk, but
I'm sitting on the right.
Exactly. CJ's is on the left.
That's different.
But they do bear the same fruit and they resemble Christ, right? All of them should, every relationship. We want to be able to do our things our way and still reap the benefits of being a child of the King. It simply can't be done. To be honest, it's not even that it can't be done. If you're trying to do this, you're missing out on so much that God has in store for you when you're not fully living in the light. I think the reason we want to stay in the shadows is because we don't get a true taste of what being in light is. I know I've talked about it before on here, but growing up, it was a fear of getting struck by lightning that made me do good. It wasn't that dependency and relationship with him. Once I started having that intimate relationship with him, that's when I couldn't turn back. In Psalms 34:8, it says, "Taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man that trusteth in him." It just takes taste.
Right.
You know, once you get that, it's life-changing. But when we're in the shadows, we aren't getting that taste. We're cheapening what he has for us.
It kind of reminds me of this, is a little bit dumb. I know that's a shock
I was
for
gonna
me.
say, we would expect
but
nothing
you know,
less.
like on the cartoons, when like they're in the ocean or something, and like they're trying to escape the shark. And what's the shark do? He's like biting at the air,
Right.
getting nothing. He's trying to get a taste, but there's nothing there. That's kind of what it is to be in the Shadow Kingdom. Like you see Christianity, you see like this reality of serving the Lord, and you see that the taste is supposed to be good, but you're just chomping at it, and you keep missing it. You're getting nothing but mouthful of air.
Right, and it leaves you empty.
It leaves you absolutely empty
Still
and bloated.
searching, yeah.
Bloated believers is what you are. What do you want from me? I'm done.
That's what the shark says.
One of the things too, I'm just going to interject.
Yes, go ahead.
Jamie's not here, so I have to talk twice as much.
We believe that.
Okay. So you're talking about like which king, like what is our role in each kingdom, which is a rather fascinating thought because there's actually a role for the kingdom of darkness just as well as the kingdom of light. So one of the things we're going to look at camp this year, which is just an odd thing that comes out of my head. We're talking about light and dark. We're talking about kingdoms, but actually for prayer stations a couple times, we're going to talk about fruit, which should be funny. Neither of you are smiling, so I feel kind of judgy. But we're talking about fruit at the prayer stations because fruit is a direct correlation with the tree. Apple trees produce apples. Wow. Banana trees produce bananas, and orange trees produce oranges. And in the kingdom, so it's a little different because obviously castles don't pop out fruit. I mean,
I thought you were going to say we pop out castles or something.
That would be weird. But what we do see is that in a kingdom, the king, who's the head, sends out ambassadors into the world to fulfill their will. So what is God, who is light? What is his will for the kingdom of light? It's that we would bring forth light into this dark world. It's that we would penetrate, we would be a agent of light and bring it into this dark world and bring, Jesus says, I'm not the light of the world. Well, he does say he's the light of the world. But he says, you are the light of the world. You are a city set on a hill. And we're going to look at that at camp, that what does the King of Light send you to do? What is your role in this kingdom? It's for you to go and show light. But the opposite is also true. And I think that's what most of us miss. What is the ruler of the kingdom of darkness? What is his desire as for his ambassadors? Well, darkness, more darkness, not some darkness, pure darkness, and just make it darker and keep getting darker. And so he sends us into this dark world to make it darker. And so again, like you were saying, what is the trick he uses on Christians? Mixture. Because you cannot have light if dark is present, and you cannot have dark if light is present. And so the best thing to do is dilute both kingdoms or rob both kings of their ambassadorship, and so that there's nothing there to benefit anyone. We're just literally wasting our lives. A shadow is a waste of a life. It's an outline, a silhouette of what could or should be there. I digress.
I feel like you're talking about me now.
Sensitive elephant.
So has there been a time in your life that you were trying to live in the shadows, or that you were staying in the shadows? Or an example of such?
Look that way.
What was the question?
Has there been a time in your life where you were wanting to live in the shadows or try to stay in the shadows?
Pretty much all teenagers feel that way.
That's true.
Yeah, pretty much any time you're in the teenager.
Would I agree with
that
that?
is a
Would
tough-
echo that.
that's a
Yeah, it's
tough
like,
part of your
why?
life.
Yeah, why not?
But it's
just-
false though.
Yeah.
Like it's a whole bunch of hormones and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But
It's a shadow.
yeah,
Have a person. Get all sciencey and stuff. Hormones.
And commodes? What did you just say?
I don't
Where
think
did you spend your teenage years? I don't know. I don't know. Like, I guess, yeah, I would say teen years. I think that growing up in church, I would say most of my life has been spent in the shadows until the last maybe 5 or 6 years. And I've come out of the shadows because of an understanding of the shadows.
Yeah.
So, like, I think most of us, like, I would say 80% of Christians that I know are living in the shadows, but don't know it.
Yep.
They wouldn't say that they are.
Right.
So I think, like, I don't know that I could point my finger on an exact place, but until you learn what light is, until you taste and see that he's good, you can't really understand that you're in the shadow.
Yeah. But I think that that's what I like about this podcast is I feel like we try to be real. And so the teen years were rough. I think that we don't want to admit, I went through a period in my life where, like, is God real? I didn't have that relationship enough to know like he was real. So then Satan put all those thoughts like, well, all that stuff you're learning in school, that's really true. Your parents are the ones that don't know anything. Right. You know what I mean? Like, you go through all those dark things. And so that's why, we want to be real with you guys, because if you're facing that, we want you to reach out and to learn and to grow as well through all of this. So what was the change for you coming out of the shadows and fully into the light? Do you remember like a, a pivotal moment, or what, maybe something that brought you out?
Not really. I think it's more of just like a overtime thing where it's a constant learning and it's a realization of this feeling isn't it's not real, but it's also like kind of like when you're talking about shadows, it's a falsity of the real thing. And so when you come to that realization, that kind of brings you out of that kind of thinking.
Yeah. So I agree. I think it's a continual thing. I mean, like we talk all the time now, we're continually being saved.
Right.
So we're continually being brought out of the shadows, even in my life today.
Which really is so, like, this theme is rather abstract, but that really is so obvious when you're in a dark room and like you open a cracked door that there's light in the hallway, or when the sun rises in the morning. It's not like daylight. It's gradual.
Right.
There's gradual leaving of the dark and a gradual incoming of the light. And I would say for our Christian lives, that is absolutely how it works. Yeah. We've talked over and over on this series about Psalms 139, that the word of God is a lamp unto our feet and a light unto our path. And what that means is that I may be walking in darkness, but then his light illuminates it. And so I'm like, oopsie, nope, step over here. And so I think that's like CJ said, it's a gradual, here, I see darkness. Here, I see shadow. Turn, go towards light. Oh, here it is again. Turn, go towards light. It's just a constant revelation of, here are shadows, here are darkness. I want light. Yeah.
So you just dittoed him. And
what do you want from me? You know as well as anyone, I don't remember my life. So these questions are very difficult for someone with dementia that has no idea what's happened in the last 30 years.
Those are probably not his answers.
They're probably not. I don't know. I mean, you know my life more than I do. I don't remember any of it. What was the question?
Oh, I would know.
What has changed? Well, I kind of answered that.
Yeah, you did, but it's the same answer.
Okay, well, it's not my fault he went first. It is kind of
because
I looked at him first, but it's fine.
Anything else to add?
I don't think so. I'm embarrassed.
Okay. So this month, instead of the Charge Up Challenge, we've been giving you guys a chance to earn tickets for camp. And we've been mentioning different items. We've had pudding,
motivational, inspirational. I think it was inspirational pudding.
Some type of pudding that shouldn't be
pudding.
A flavor. We had a flashlight, a globe, or
was it
world?
World.
Something.
I don't remember that one.
I
need to probably remember that.
Are we next?
Was that all of them?
I don't know.
I feel like there was another one.
The flashlight, didn't it?
Maybe the flashlight. It must be.
Well, go back and pay attention to the list.
We don't know what's happened here.
Yeah, but CJ, what should they bring this week? The answer, you make your own.
It's still
you came up with an answer.
I can't go down any further.
Is this castle?
He's like, quote, bring
a picture of a castle.
That was so natural. Actually, that really was for CJ.
So we're going.
That's fine. We can go with a picture.
You like that?
Yeah.
You like that? You want a piece of that?
I was thinking of a candy, but I guess we already had something to eat.
We already had food. Yeah. All right. So bring a picture of a castle. Wow, that was interesting. So our quote for today is by D.L. Moody.
Old dead guy.
As always. It's either we don't know or it's an old dead.
It's either anonymous person. Or old dead anonymous.
Or yes.
Yeah, or no, there's another option.
They could be.
Well, if you don't know, then you don't know if they're dead, I guess. That's true. Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's possible that Moody's not dead. We don't know that.
He's dead.
Oh.
I've been to his town, Chicago.
We were there with him.
And we saw his church. I mean, you could still be alive and have a church, but anyhow.
We
should probably quote him.
Okay. So he said, we are told to let our light shine, and if it does, we don't need to tell anybody it does. Lighthouses don't fire cannons to call attention to their shining. They just shine.
That's good. Write that down.
I did.
That's good. Yeah, we should use that at camp.
Okay. And the featured content is Start a Fire by Unspoken.
You're going to sing that for us? I think you should.
If Jamie was here, I would. But I know
she's
I
here
shall
in
sing
spirit.
alone. I don't think
you shall sing alone. I will so back you up.
No, you will not.
CJ will laugh at you.
He will. I think he's laughed so much more in this seat than
I think yeah.
It's fake.
We
know.
It's
just for the camera. But this has been something.
We're
sorry.
I've never been so happy in my life.
Well, and on that note, we'll see you guys next week. Bye.